SSI is Supplemental Security Income, and it is based on a person not having worked, but how many assets they have and how much income they make. They can't make over $735 a month in order to qualify for SSI. SSDI, which is Supplemental Security Income, is based on a person's work history. So if you have worked the appropriate amount of work credits over the last 10 years, then you will be able to qualify for SSDI. The amount of money that you will make under SSDI will be based upon how much money you have paid in. So clearly somebody who's worked part-time and hasn't paid in as much money will make less money under SSDI per month than the person who, say, is a doctor and has paid in a lot more money. SSI, everyone who qualifies under that program, the maximum amount that they can get per month is $735 as of 2017. That amount changes per year. If you qualify for SSI, as long as you qualify for that program, you automatically will qualify for Medicaid in the state of Nebraska. SSDI, Medicaid, you will qualify depending upon how much money you're getting paid under the SSDI program, as there's a need threshold for Medicaid as well. Disability determined under both SSI and SSDI under the same 5 steps. It's a 5-step approach. The first question that SSA, or Social Security Administration, is going to ask is, are you making substantial gainful activity? What substantial gainful activity means is, are you working and making over a certain dollar amount per month? That dollar amount changes every year. Right now, I believe it's $1,170. I usually will tell people if you're making over $1,000 a month, you're not going to get that step. Even if you're disabled, if you are still working and making over $1,170 or SGA, Social Security cannot find you disabled under the law. It's the biggest problem that I have with people who are trying to get disability is they continue to work and they will apply and they get turned down because they're working over that amount. The second step is, do you have a severe impairment? Do you have an impairment that affects your daily activities of living to an extent that Social Security is going to consider it severe? The third step is, do you meet what Social Security calls their listings? If you look on the internet, there is a specific list of items that if you qualify or actually have one of those illnesses, you are automatically determined to be disabled under Social Security's rules. They're a very high bar, so they're hard to meet. The fourth step is, if you don't meet one of those listings, are you able to go back to your original job? Do the impairments that you have get in the way enough where you can't go back to that job? If Social Security determines that you cannot go back to that job, the fifth step is, can you do any other job in the national economy? So could you be a ticket taker at a theater, or could you work at a fast food restaurant? They actually look to determine, are there any other jobs that you can do? If all of those steps are met and you can't do any other job in the national economy, that's how they determine you are disabled. There's several reasons that I have found that people who have cancer get denied disability. The first one is on duration. So in order to be found disabled, Social Security has to determine that your illness is either going to result in death or last at least 12 months. With cancer, a lot of times the treatment does not last 12 months. So Social Security will determine that the person is not disabled because they're going to get better before that 12-month period of time. What they fail to take into account is sometimes chemo will have a long-term effect on people, and so they really will meet what we call the durational requirement of 12 months. The second reason that I find that they get turned down is that they don't fill out the questionnaires correctly. You will get a questionnaire from Social Security that says, what are your daily activities and what are you no longer able to do? And Social Security will compare those documents. They're long and they're arduous to fill out, and sometimes people won't fill them out correctly, and they will get denied just on the fact that they haven't filled those out so that Social Security can make a proper determination. The third reason that they get denied is they pick the wrong, what Social Security calls onset date. What day did you last feel you could no longer work? Because they pick a day where they still are working and making SGA, they will get denied on that reason, and Social Security won't explain to them that if they pick a later date when they've actually stopped working, that they may actually meet the Social Security disability requirement. That's why I always recommend that people at least talk to a disability attorney to get advice when they're filing that initial application. So can you work while you're applying for disability, or can you work once you get disability is kind of a two-part question. Yes, you can. As I explained earlier, Social Security, that first question they're going to ask is, are you making substantial gainful activity? That really means, can you work a full-time, 5-day-a-week job? If you can't, but you're working part-time, so say you're working 20 hours a week and you're making $500 a month, you're still considered disabled under Social Security's rules. So yes, you can work some and still be considered disabled. Now, Social Security will look at what kind of job you're doing currently and determine whether they think you could work that full-time. But that doesn't mean that it's going to inhibit you from getting found disabled. Secondly, once you get disability, you can continue to work or you can go back to work. Social Security has what's called the Ticket to Work program, where they actually will work with individuals that are on disability to try to work with them to get them back into employment roles. You can work for a period of time without your benefits being cut, and that is to work you back into a time where you can get off of disability and go back into the work.